What if I told you there are towns in America where you could live in, and they don't charge a single dollar in property taxes? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's real, and today we're uncovering 5 places where this dream is actually happening. But before you get too excited, there's something you need to know. Yep, you guessed it, the county will still say, pay up. Now, we all know Florida is working to completely eliminate property taxes statewide, but while lawmakers debate whether this dream will become a reality, we'll stick to places we know offer tax relief. Kicking off our countdown at number 5, we have Verde Park in Verde County, Texas. Now, this one is interesting because it offers a unique proposition for those truly seeking to minimize their local property tax burden. Verde Park is an unincorporated community. What does that mean for you? Well, in simple terms, it means there's no municipal government, no city hall levying its own set of property taxes on residents. Think about that for a second. No city-level property tax to worry about each year. This can make a significant difference in your annual housing costs. Of course, services are typically funded by these taxes, so what's the catch? Regions like Verde Park rely primarily on county-level services. You'll likely still pay county taxes and, importantly, school district taxes, especially if you have kids or plan to. However, these are often considerably lower than what you'd encounter in a fully incorporated city that stacks its own taxes on top. The appeal here is a more streamlined, potentially much lighter tax load directly tied to property ownership at the local level. It's a different way of living, one that prioritizes fiscal minimalism in this specific area. And this is a big but you need to consider. Being unincorporated means you should expect fewer municipal services. Don't anticipate elaborate city-run public transportation systems, extensive local zoning regulations, or large-scale city-funded infrastructure projects like you'd find in a bustling metropolis. Life here is more about self-reliance and appreciating a less governed, more rural or semi-rural feel. This isn't necessarily a downside for everyone. In fact, for many, it's a huge plus. If you're someone who values privacy, less red tape, and a more hands-off approach from local government, Verde Park and similar unincorporated areas might just be your slice of heaven. It's perfect for the independent spirit, perhaps someone working remotely or looking for a quieter pace of life, where they have more control over their immediate surroundings and, crucially, their property-related tax output. It's a trade-off, fewer bells and whistles in terms of city amenities, but potentially significant savings on what can be one of the biggest expenses of home ownership. Definitely one of the more rugged options for finding those elusive no property tax towns. Swinging over to a tropical paradise for our number 4 spot, we land in Honolulu, Hawaii. Okay, hold on. Before you say Hawaii, isn't that super expensive? Hear me out. While Honolulu isn't completely tax-free, it boasts one of the absolute lowest effective property tax rates in the entire United States. We're talking about a rate around 0.31% of a property's assessed value. To put that into perspective, many mainland cities have rates that are 3, 4, or even 10 times higher. So while you're not dodging the property tax bullet entirely, it's more like a gentle tap compared to the cannonball many other American homeowners face. Now, here's the reality check. Property values in Honolulu are, as you might expect, quite high. It's a world-renowned destination with limited land, so that dream home with an ocean view comes with a premium price tag. Because the base value of the properties is so high, the actual dollar amount you pay in property taxes can still be significant. It's not like you'll be paying pocket change. However, the rate itself is incredibly favorable. This means that as a percentage of your home's worth, your recurring tax obligation is remarkably low. This is a crucial distinction. For long-term homeowners, a low rate can mean more predictable and manageable annual costs, even if the initial investment is substantial. Residents in Honolulu benefit from this system, which allows the city to fund its services without overly burdening homeowners on a percentage basis. But it's also important to remember that Hawaii's overall tax system and cost of living have other factors. The state has income tax, and the general cost of living, think groceries, utilities, everyday goods, tends to be higher than on the mainland, largely due to shipping costs. So while you're saving on the property tax rate, you need to budget for these other expenses. Honolulu is ideal for those who can afford the higher property values up front and are looking for that incredible Hawaiian lifestyle with the bonus of a very friendly property tax rate. It's a strong contender if you're searching for low property tax cities in an undeniably beautiful setting. It's about balancing the dream of island life with a smart financial outlook. And next up at number 3, we venture to a truly unique place, Arden, Delaware. This isn't just a town, it's a planned community with a fascinating history and a very distinctive approach to property and taxes. Founded way back in 1900, Arden operates on Henry George's single tax philosophy. Now, what in the world does that mean? Essentially, this philosophy posits that only the value of land itself should be taxed, not the buildings or improvements made on that land. So the beautiful house you build, the renovations you undertake, the lovely garden you cultivate under Arden's system, these aren't directly factored into your property tax in the traditional sense. Here's how it works in practice. Residents in Arden don't technically own the land their houses sit on. Instead, they lease the land from a village trust. In place of a traditional property tax bill from the municipality, residents pay an annual land rent to this trust. This rent is calculated based on the assessed value of the land plot itself, not the structures upon it. The funds generated from this land rent are then used to pay for local services. Think road maintenance, community upkeep, and other village amenities. So there are no traditional property taxes on your house or your personal property within Arden. Your primary obligation related to your dwelling, beyond your mortgage if you have one, is this land lease payment. This system has some really interesting effects. One of the core ideas behind the single tax philosophy is to encourage the efficient use of land and to discourage land speculation, where people buy up land just to hold onto it and sell it for a profit later without developing it. Because you're paying rent on the land, regardless of what's on it, there's an incentive to make good use of that land. Arden, along with its sister villages Ardentown and Ardencroft, has cultivated a strong arts-focused community vibe. It's a place with a rich cultural heritage, beautiful green spaces, and a distinct sense of shared purpose. Living in Arden is definitely a different experience than your average suburban town. It's for people who appreciate its historical and philosophical underpinnings and are comfortable with the leasehold model. It's a truly innovative way to structure a community and its finances, offering a unique path away from conventional property taxation. Cruising into our number 2 spot, we head back to the Lone Star State to Livingston, Texas. Livingston has a really clever workaround for city property taxes. If you move here, you won't be writing a check to the city for property taxes each year. So how do they manage to pave the roads, fund the police department, and keep the parks looking pristine? Livingston has its own utility company, and here's the kicker. The city uses the profits generated from electricity sales to fund its public services. That's right, your electricity bill is essentially covering what property taxes would in other towns. This intriguing approach switches city operations funding from property ownership to consumption, specifically energy use. Residents' electricity rates may be higher than in nearby communities without this technology. They are exempt from the annual municipal property tax payment. This trade-off appeals to many. If your home is energy efficient, you may save money on property taxes. Residents have control because using more electricity means paying for city services. This novel funding technique has helped Livingston thrive and assist its citizens without taxing their homes. Homeowners save a lot without a city-specific levy, even if they still pay county and school district property taxes. Utility expenses may be greater if you have a large house, run many AC units, or have energy-intensive hobbies. Many like the security of not paying city property taxes and knowing their utility usage helps their neighborhood. Livingston's creative method to eliminating municipal property taxes entails tying city money to a universal utility. Our top municipal property tax-free city is Stafford, Texas. Stafford has swum in the no property tax pool for decades. This 1995 municipal property tax elimination made the city famous nationwide. City property taxes were waived for nearly 30 years. Imagine eternal financial freedom. Stafford's daring choice defines his personality and appeal. How did Stafford thrive without property taxes? A variety of money streams helps the city fund public services. Most important is sales tax. Sales tax from Stafford's businesses benefits the city. Stafford shoppers and restaurants support city operations. Stafford collects sales tax, utility franchise fees, and general business taxes. This multidimensional approach works. Stafford thrived without a municipal property tax. The city balances residential and commercial development. Business startup in a city without municipal property tax on commercial premises is highly attractive. Stafford attracts small businesses, entrepreneurs, and cost-cutting multinationals. Homeowners save money on city property taxes immediately. This can fund home improvements, savings, investments, or fun. Stafford's Greater Houston membership is a plus. This strategic location gives residents the best of both worlds. Stafford has a suburban atmosphere and a big tax advantage while being close to Houston's world-class employment, cultural attractions, major league sports, and cuisine culture. Stafford is popular with those seeking financial security without compromising metropolitan luxuries. Stafford, Texas pioneered no property tax cities and proved they can provide excellent services and grow without them. 5 remarkable U.S. communities with unique local property tax reduction or elimination ideas. Many possibilities exist, from Livingston's utility-funded streets to Arden's single tax philosophy to Stafford's municipal property tax freedom. Texas has bustling cities and quiet, unincorporated areas. This should offer some intriguing new destinations. If you have a friend who hates paying property taxes, share this video with them. Do you know of other tax-friendly areas? Comment below, and happy house hunting!